Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. You'll probably notice that I'm dressed in the same clothes as the last video, and that's because I recorded these in the same day. But anyway guys, let's get into this. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back, as I said. What is going on with all this Nick Frost stuff? I mean, yet again, another casting that seems to have split the fan base. Now, I have to call it out. I'm calling myself out here. I did successfully pick Nick Frost as Hagrid long before it was announced. It was just a guess, if I'm honest. I thought he suited the role. And he got it. But anyway, I've been doing some research since the casting, and I've been looking at a few things, and yeah, there is some issues with Nick's casting. Good old Nick, probably best known for his comedic brilliance in Shaun of the Dead. What a movie. And Hot Fuzz also. He's now officially Hagrid in HBO's upcoming Harry Potter series. Of course he is. He's already filming. We've seen a picture of him in his full Hagrid getup. And the announcement was met with excitement. It was. There were so many fans that said, "Oh wow, this is a great casting," but there was also hesitation. And the question is why? And the first thing that came to my mind is, well, Nick is 5'7". He's hardly a towering half giant. I mean, I'm 5'6", and I don't think many of you could imagine me playing Hagrid, you know? "You're right, Harry!" Although that's a good impression, because that Bristol accent is kind of similar to the way the Irish accent is pronounced in terms of our syllables. We both say tree. But anyway, that's just one of the things, obviously. And secondly, most notably, most controversially, he has spoken out on J.K. Rowling's anti-trans views. He's gone against her entirely, so that also asks the question, how did he land the role if he is so strongly against the creator of this series? And is he really the right choice? So that's what I want to talk about today. We're going to dive in deep, we're going to have a look at this, and we're going to start with just talking about Hagrid, the high controversy. You know, does Nick really match the role like for like? So, as we know in the books, Hagrid is described as being around 12 feet tall. I think it's 12 feet tall. Forgive me for not researching back through the books. I'm pretty sure it's 12 feet tall. I know he has wild black hair. He has hands the size of bin lids or trash can lids, which is a big hand. Robbie Coltrane captured that essence brilliantly in the films. Robbie Coltrane is the ultimate Hagrid. God rest his soul. I still can't believe that he's gone. And Robbie was assisted by the ex-rugby player Martin Bayfield, who is 6'10". So for wide shots and body doubles, Martin stood in. Now, obviously with the casting, fans took to forums and social media almost immediately. Comments like, I have some comments here. How can a man of average height play a half giant? And another one that says he looks like he's in cosplay with the photo that was posted up. But guys, here's the thing, okay? HBO isn't playing this small. Now, according to Cinema Blend, the website, they say that his oversized coat, his costume design, and forced perspective cinematography all contribute to a visually convincing Hagrid. They may not physically be able to make him 12 feet tall, but they're aiming to recapture the presence that Hagrid demands. So, you know, they make a point. We have to... I know I'm going to really annoy people when I say this, and I don't mean it the way it's coming out, but I have to say it. We have to forget Robbie Coltrane, but not forget him entirely. We have to forget him for this series, because we can't start making comparisons, because Robbie Coltrane is the ultimate Hagrid. There is no comparison. He played the role to a T. He was excellent. I mean, if you think of any character in the Harry Potter book series and you just put Robbie as Hagrid, it's 100 for 100. There's no flaws. There really, really isn't. And there's not a lot of characters you can say that about. And I'm going to talk a bit more about, you know, the Robbie and Nick comparison in a moment. But I know I'm talking about forgetting stuff, but there's something that we can't forget, guys. And it's really, really important. It's important not to forget that acting is transformation. You know, just like Gary Oldman became Sirius Black, or Richard Harris embodied Dumbledore, it's not always about physical resemblance, it's about performance. And I know physical resemblance is important. You want to look like the character, but performance is the most important thing. And I believe it's the same approach we have to take to Papa Esidu as Severus Snape. I know there's not a lot of people happy about that, but he is Snape. He hasn't been fired. He hasn't been removed. He is Snape. This is what's happening, and we have to accept it. You can go against it all you want, but he's still going to appear on screen. So let's look at the question again. Why cast Nick Frost at all? What makes him stand above everyone else? There's no pun intended there. In my opinion, and from reading reports that I agree with, producers reportedly wanted someone who could bring both comedy and warmth to the role, which is two things that Nick is known for. Hagrid isn't just a big half giant, that's not everything that he is. He's funny, he's kind, he's also insecure, and he's heartbreakingly loyal. Like, it really, when you see his loyalty in it, it really just, it touches your heart. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Nick said that he wanted to portray Hagrid as lovely, lost, violent, funny, and warm, and also childlike. So that's just not physically big, it's also emotionally big, if you understand what I'm saying. So, as we know, HBO's goal is to be faithful to the books and elevate the storytelling. So a character like Hagrid does need depth, not just height. And I think, there will be there will be camera angles from different views, different shots. They can make it work. There will also be special effects. Like, we will see Hagrid appear as the half giant. We will see Nick Frost in a quite commanding position in terms of height and size. Like, it's not just going to be, someone 5'6" walking in the door saying, "You all right, Harry?" Like, that's not the way it's going to be. But I think, like, that's just like a small thing for me. If I'm honest, I think what's, kind of tainting this is the issue now with J.K. Rowling. And he's not the first actor to have an issue with J.K. Rowling. Papa Esidu completely disregards J.K.'s stance against anti-trans. Like, he's completely against that, and so is Nick Frost. And Nick Frost has actually spoken about it. So, he didn't just enter the spotlight because of his casting. He clearly made the headlines because he doesn't align with J.K. Rowling's beliefs. He's not happy about the things she said, and he also said that he wouldn't hold back against her if things came to a head. Now, I don't believe things would come to a head, but anyway, in his own words in an interview with The Wrap, Frost said that she's allowed her own opinion and I'm allowed mine. They just don't align in any way, shape or form. He said, maybe it shouldn't blow over. Maybe we should talk about it. And maybe we should educate ourselves. So as you may imagine, that didn't go unnoticed. And when HBO announced the casting, they popped Nick into the Disabled Commons group on Instagram, exactly like when other diverse castings were revealed, including Papa Esidu as Snape. We all know that the comment section got knocked off for him. It also got knocked off for John Lithgow as Dumbledore. But look, in my opinion, it kind of shows that the network understands the intensity of online abuse and criticism, and they're doing their best to protect the actors. And, Frost is giving his opinion. He's not attacking J.K. Rowling. He's disagreeing with her while honouring the role as Hagrid. By taking the role of Ruby's Hagrid, he's saying that, this series, this story, Harry Potter, is bigger than J.K. Rowling. It's bigger than anything that she has to say, or it's bigger than anything that he has to say. What should be focused upon is the actual beauty of the story. And it does make a lot of sense if you ask me. So let's just go back to the role of Hagrid for a moment. Now, I know I've spoken about it in terms of the CGI effects and Nick Frost being 5'7", the whole lot. But we have to go back to the most important thing in terms of what is going to draw attention to the role of Hagrid, and that is comparison. I said earlier on, we have to forget Robbie's portrayal for this series. Not forget Robbie, not forget that he's Hagrid, but for this series. Because it's very, very clear that Hagrid is more than a fan favourite. He's a guardian, he's a symbol of acceptance. He introduces Harry to the magical world. He is the first person to ever show Harry kindness before anyone else. Because you have to remember, Harry never knew kindness in his upbringing. His aunt, his uncle, his cousin were all awful to him. So it's important that choosing the right Hagrid matters. And Frost has said that he's not trying to copy Hagrid. He doesn't want to do anything the way that Robbie did things. He says, "You can't out Hagrid Robbie Coltrane." These are his words. He said, "I'm bringing something else." And that's key. Nobody wants a carbon copy. So he makes a good point. Nobody wants a carbon copy of Hagrid. We want something different. We want to honour his essence, but, bring something different to the role. And that is the biggest challenge, because how do you bring something different to a role that was nailed 110% by the previous actor? But anyway, guys, if the show really is devoting a full season per book, then we will see more of Hagrid's struggles. We will see his past with, Giants, his heartbreak over Buckbeak and Aragog, and the flashback with Tom Riddle, things like that. We will see moments of Hagrid's past that Robbie Coltrane didn't get to act out, which means it gives Nick Frost an opportunity to give us something new in a fresh scene that we haven't seen come to life. So I think that's a really, really good thing that it's going to be a series, if I'm honest. So with production with production, it's ramping up. The series is being filmed. It's being shot currently as we speak. They are filming this series. As we know, each season will follow one book, meaning 7 years of Potter storytelling. We know that HBO have told us J.K. Rowling won't be heavily involved. She won't be. She won't be on set all the time. She won't be creatively dominant. She will have some sort of input, but it won't be anything like it was in the movies. And that just brings us back around full circle to the question, will Nick Frost be a good Hagrid? And there's kind of two answers, really. It depends on what we value and what you value. If you want a 12-foot giant on screen, maybe not. But if you want like a funny, tender, brave, flawed character with insecurities who can connect with both Harry Potter and the audience, well, I think Nick Frost will surprise everybody. I think he will do a really good job. Yes, he's standing up for inclusivity. He's also embracing the challenge of the role, and he's clearly putting thought into what he thinks makes Hagrid. So, yeah, I think he's going to do a good Hagrid. Anyway, guys, that is all for today's video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think Nick Frost is going to be a good Hagrid? Do you think he's too short? Do you think he's not good enough? Do you think his issues with J.K. Rowling will affect his portrayal of the role? Let me know down below. Guys, I really appreciate everything and every one of you, all your comments. I know I don't do this much, but I'm going to try and keep getting these videos up, maybe 3 or 4 a week if I can, maybe a week in between. But I love you all. Thank you so much for the continued support. It means a lot to me, and I will see you all for the next video. Yes, there's another one coming. See you soon.